Hi guys, according to Reform UK and its friends in the media, Britain is a crime-infested hellhole that only reform can sort out. Now we heard this week from Nigel Farage that certain individuals coming from Afghanistan are already guilty of assault, and then we heard this from Richard Tice. Now he was talking about electoral fraud, but there's a major problem with what he said here. Have a listen.
There is much to welcome within these proposals to enhance our democracy, particularly around safety of candidates. We at Reform are very much against votes for 16 to 17-year-olds. It's interesting to know that they themselves are completely split down the middle on this issue. But I would urge the Minister, in particular with regard to postal voting, we have grave concerns about the risks to security and the risks of impersonation of postal voting. I myself, Minister, have seen people carry bag loads of postal votes to a polling station on election day. That is surely completely wrong.
Minister.
I want to reassure the honourable gentleman that we take those issues very seriously. Personating another voter is a deliberate act of fraud. It completely undermines our democracy and is a serious criminal offence that will continue to be prosecuted. If he has examples, he should report it to the police.
If he has examples, he should report it to the police. Which begs the question, why did Richard Tice not report it to the police? You know, he claims that he saw a crime being committed, but he did not report it to the police. In the same way as you hear from Reform UK supporters or even some of their councillors and members of Parliament that asylum seekers are engaging in criminal activity. But once again, they don't report this to the police. They suddenly go to the newspapers or they stand up in Parliament and say a crime has been committed, but they don't go to the police. Because a normal citizen their first port of call would be law enforcement, not the media. Which begs the question, why is Richard Tice not going to the police? Well, maybe it's because there was no crime. What they're trying to do here, of course, is undermine democracy. They're trying to suggest that, look, postal votes don't benefit Reform UK in the same way as postal votes didn't benefit Donald Trump. And of course, what did Donald Trump do when it came to postal votes? He tried to stop the counting of them. Reform UK don't support extending the voting age to 16 and 17-year-olds because they would not benefit from that. Which is quite ironic because we constantly hear from Nigel Farage and his supporters that, yes, more and more young people want to vote for Reform. More and more young people are sick and tired of the two mainstream parties. Well, surely if more and more young people think that way, then more and more young people should be voting. But they're against that. No, because most of their vote comes from the older generation. And of course, Reform UK will be worse off if 16 and 17-year-olds were able to vote. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. But once again, if you see a crime, surely you should report it to the police, even if you're a Reform UK MP.